So this isn't going to be your actual typical one that you've seen already about the whole Behringer thing being sued by the creator of the Caline Centaur. We actually have this one. I've had it for a while, and I've been meaning to do a review on it. And I guess if the lawsuit does go through and these no longer made, I am going to actually give this one away because I'm sure it'll be price gouged, and you know, people like to do that stuff all the time. So I actually like to buy stuff. I've bought in other things before.
Idiot.
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 And have given it away on the channel because I like to at least help one person from not falling victim to being price gouged. But this is not the first time that a pedal has come out and looked shockingly similar. We've had this one featured on the channel before too, and I guess because the horsey looks a little different, it doesn't say actual Centaur on it, it does say Centavo. It has a little bit of a different, has a mod switch here, so, but to me, this one actually looks more like it than anything. But there's are some other ones out there. Serotonin makes one, which I don't currently own. So what's the deal? Is it because that Behringer is known for taking copies and making stuff out of, you know, riding the backs of other before? I don't know. I've had a couple people tell me that the business practices are a little speculative. I started looking into some things, and there definitely is at least one instance of them trying, I don't know, something with the factory where someone got ill. But I mean, there's been so many issues with factories overseas. An interesting video actually recently was a podcast with Dean Zielinski talking about how overseas manufacturing, he went over there and started trying to produce his guitars and showing the business over there and the model. You really have to see the video, but he was at one point talking about how the whole place was basically a bathroom, like they were crapping into a bucket in the corner somewhere, and now it's grown into like a wonderful place to work. So at least from some of the videos I've seen, they have like hospitals and they have like a cafeteria type thing, and it seems like it's a bit of a, I guess they call it like the music tribe, but I don't know. I know other people have done exposés on them and stuff like that, but it also seems like it's the same people that might be, you know, complaining that, you know, there's corporate greed and, you know, people charging too much for things, and now you have someone that's making something at a comparative price. And even court rulings have said that you can't, I guess, copyright circuits, but I guess trade dress you could. But again, to me, this one doesn't, I don't know, I've never owned a klon. The interesting about the klon too, from at least what I gathered, when they were in production, that the average Joe couldn't just go and get them from this person. You know, they are making them hand-wired, so it does take time, but it was almost like you had to explain what you were needing it for, and you were good enough to get it. At least that's, again, let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong, but that's at least what I kind of understood from years of trying to scrub through forums and other videos. So you almost couldn't possibly get it. At least with somebody like King of Tone, yeah, there is a Analog Man, there's a 6-year waiting list, but you could eventually get one, and you don't have to, you know, provide that you're an excellent musician. I'm actually currently on the waiting list for the second time. I guess too that you do have to protect your intellectual property, but is it because Behringer is a huge conglomerate and has been guilty of it, or is it just because they have the most money in the game? And this was actually the first gear ever that I've owned off and on again, off again, of playing that a Behringer. I currently actually do have a second piece, which I haven't even hooked up yet. And to me, it's something that I could use in the studio that was extremely cheap. I think it was $179. It gets me more mic preamps to use as far as different routing, things like that. I'm not going to get into that. There'd be a whole different video on this one. Now, I'm not going to saying that I'm a fan of Behringer, and I do like the boutique side of pedals. I feel like that there is more of a personal connection behind some of them. They also, I think, believe are better quality. Even with this one right here, we'll do a review on it eventually. The input, the DC input, you can tell is a little bit like not centered right. I'm sure eventually, like over time, it'll probably even give way because, and this one's only $69 compared to some premium boutique ones. But so let me know in the comment section, actually, are you against Behringer because it's just cheap knockoffs, or is it because of their business practices? I mean, their non-disclosure thing, if you've seen that too. It's not the first company that I know of that you've had to sign a non-disclosure to, work with them. They got to protect their interests. And are they protecting their interests like maniacally and they're actually trying to cover things up, or is it legitimate? Because we all know that freedom of speech does not actually protect people from saying things that aren't true, and just because it's out there on the internet doesn't actually really mean it's all true. I've actually partnered and worked with smaller companies that have sent like cease and desist to people for, talking about them, and they're a small company. So you do have to protect yourself in some ways. Is it a maniacal protecting, or is it actually a legitimate protecting? And I'm not jumping on the Behringer bandwagon and try and defend them or anything. I've actually never really had any interest in them before. Even when I was a player first starting off, I really did think that the stuff was just kind of like cheap plastic stuff. And yeah, we all need different price points. I think now too, there's a lot of different companies out there that are coming up with good stuff at the similar price point or maybe a little bit higher, but we also don't know anything about them or their business practices too. I'm really making this video to get a better understanding of things that I might not know or you might not know about the company, and we could hopefully learn in the comment section down below together. You've all been a fantastic audience, and as always, stay tuned.